Hey guys, this is Mikedot here for OnRPG's.com, and welcome to another episode of OnRPG's Kicktracker Report, a monthly web series focused on Kickstarter gaming projects that you should know about. For those that are new to the show, each month I go over a handful of new Kickstarter gaming projects, take a quick look back at campaigns from previous episodes, and I give my thoughts on what makes some of these Kickstarter projects so special. Now, this is the last Kickstarter video of the year, and I'd like to get through some news and details quickly because we have a very special interview for you guys at the end of it. For the month of December 2015, Pankapu the Dreamkeeper by Two Kind Studios managed to end its Kickstarter campaign successfully, with over 53,000 euros raised from over 1,000 backers. Before the campaign ended, backers managed to unlock two stretch goals, which include visual evolution for Aegis characters, professional voice actors to enhance the game's story, as well as PS4 and Xbox One support. As for some non-stretch goal related announcements, a new character type has been revealed called Faith, which is a support type caster who can heal himself as well as use water magic in order to hold back his foes. Labyrinth, the card game RPG by Free Range Games, was also successfully funded last month with over $1,500,000 raised from over 1,000 backers. Now, since the campaign's completion, they've also made some progress during the first week of development with some new art assets, HUD elements, and server programming. Now, unrelated to this campaign, however, they've also registered their game on the IndieDB Indie of the Year competition. So if you're really into these kinds of games, make sure you vote and show some support. Sociable Soccer, the arcade-style soccer title by John Hare, was cancelled recently due to the slow progress with his Kickstarter campaign. The game managed to reach only £32,000 pledged from over 1,700 backers. Now, despite the campaign being cancelled, John Hare states that the game's development will continue as the game already has a playable prototype build and is currently being looked at by several mystery publishers. For some of our new and ongoing Kickstarter campaigns, first we have Dogma Eternal Night by Prelude Games Factory. Now, this is a new kind of sandbox MMORPG that's set in a modern world filled with gothic and punk themes, vampires, werewolves, and other creatures that go bump in the night. Powered by the Unity 5 engine, Dogma Eternal Night allows players to experience real-time combat, dynamic environments, and live in-game events that appeal to PvE, PvP, and role-playing gamers alike. Now, this game was created hot off the heels of a very similar title called World of Darkness by CCP, the same creators behind EVE Online. It was really disappointing to hear that World of Darkness was cancelled because I know a lot of horror and EVE Online fans were really looking forward to it. But at the same time, because of this game's cancellation, fans and developers decided to get together, and it sparked the creation for this game, which seems to be promising everything that World of Darkness would have had and more. Now, just looking at the game's current state, I'm not too sold on the game yet since I haven't seen much of the combat, but it still looks very impressive visual-wise. Now, if they manage to get some decent third-person shooter mechanics in there to go with the movement system, I think this game could be a real winner. Now, however, this campaign still needs a lot of support, and with only a few days left, there's a lot of ground that needs to be covered. This campaign ends on December 24th, 2015. Next, we have another tactical online card game created by Impulse Limited called Zems. Now, while this is similar to other tactical RPGs that have come out in recent months, Zems sets itself apart from all those other titles with its dynamic playing field. Along with several cards and units to choose from, players will also have to deal with weather elements such as rain and lightning and other environmental effects that could easily make or break a battle. And to top it all off, the game plans to launch with a free-to-play business model. In order to make the game more appealing to fans of the genre, the developers have released the game in an alpha form, which you can download for free off their website, and they're very focused on gathering plenty of user feedback on the game. Now, while I tried out the alpha demo for a bit, I felt that the core tactical strategy element was a bit average, but with the whole dynamic environments, while it was a bit confusing at first, I thought it was really entertaining since I had to learn how to play with or around it, and it really helped to make the game feel more unique. But anyway, this campaign needs about $40,000 to reach its base funding goal, and there's only a few days left on the campaign, which ends on December 24th, 2015. Last but certainly not least, we have AdventureQuest 3D, a fully fledged MMORPG by Ardix Entertainment. As a successor to the original AdventureQuest that was released back in 2002 and has had a ton of updates since then, the team at Ardix is making the jump from 2D to 3D with this brand new title. Now, while this game plans to feature all the great stuff that gamers have come to expect from the genre, such as real-time combat, PvP, crafting, and more, the main draw for this game will be the cross-platform play between PC, mobile phones, and tablets. With much interest in the game, I actually got to chat with Adam Bond, the CEO of Ardix Entertainment, to talk more about the game. And from that interview, I got to learn some really neat stuff about the game and the company that made it. Now, only a handful of MMORPGs have ever attempted cross-platform play of this caliber. And from what I've seen so far, if they can manage to pull this off, I think this game will be bigger and more popular than anything Ardix Entertainment has created. Now, at the time of this recording, this game has already hit its $200,000 goal, and with 2 weeks left, there's still plenty of time to support this campaign. This Kickstarter ends on January 1st, 2016. And that's all the time I have for this recap, but we still have one more thing to share with you guys. As I mentioned before, I got to chat with Adam Bond to talk about the AdventureQuest 3D, and we got the whole interview right here on our YouTube page, so be sure to check it out. But other than that, if you'd like to learn more about the other games featured in this video, just check out the links in the description below. But as always, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for next month's recap. This is Mikedot saying over and out. Okay, so before we begin, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your history with Ardix Entertainment?
Sure. Back in 2002, we created the original AdventureQuest. It was a Flash-based web game that was played by millions of players all over the world. We went on to build Dragon Fable and MechQuest and Epic Duel, and then eventually our MMO, AdventureQuest Worlds. Now we're raising funds to finish our first 3D cross-platform game, AdventureQuest 3D.
Okay, so now, as a brief overview for those that haven't already checked out the campaign, what is AdventureQuest 3D all about?
AdventureQuest 3D is a cross-platform, massively multiplayer game. It's an inspired reimagining of our original AdventureQuest, but designed so that we can play together. I'm on my phone, you're on your computer, let's raid a Draculair together.
Awesome. So now the series has had a long history being a 2D browser game that started way back in 2002. Now, and since then has spawned into a pretty huge online world. But with this newest entry into this series, what made you decide to make the jump from 2D to 3D?
Well, we get an entire extra D.
Nice.
I was specifically told never to ever tell that joke again. No, we've always wanted to make a 3D game. We weren't very good. Back when we first started making games in 2002, 3D wasn't really an option in Flash, and we didn't have any expertise. And we got really good at what made our old games special was we update them every single week with new content, new monsters, new adventures, new storylines, new cutscenes, new features. And we got really good at a 2D pipeline. We didn't really invest a lot of time into 3D talent, and we never tried being on Steam or on a console before. It is something we always thought of, and certainly something that all of our players asked us over and over, why don't we make something like that? Well, 3 years ago on our 10-year anniversary, we wanted to announce that we were creating AdventureQuest 3D, which was going to be in Flash. But Flash took a big old nosedive, and then a couple years later, we were like, okay, now's the right time to do this. Mobile devices are powerful enough. We can bring a console level experience to your mobile device, and you could actually go and play with people on PC, log in with the same character, same world, same experience, and play a massively multiplayer game together.
So the timing, the technology is right. It's time to do this.
Right.
Okay, so tell us more about the world of AdventureQuest 3D. So as a reimagining of the original AdventureQuest world, what kind of zones or areas in the game will be instantly recognizable for those veteran players out there?
Well, the first thing you're going to notice is the town of Babylon. This game has appeared in 3 of our games so far, and the idea of being able to actually walk around and explore and see what's behind the buildings and go into the shops and I get jitters, like when I first saw it, like the first time I saw the prototype, I got those butterflies in my stomach that I couldn't believe it was happening. And then to think, we have zones like Darkovia. And it's this evil haunted forest where vampires and werewolves are feuding. You go down, the core path and follow the storyline until you meet a vampire slayer. And then you kind of go off to either attack or do missions for the vampire werewolves until you yourself can become a vampire werewolf.
Wow.
And if you become both, then you can become a werepire in AdventureQuest Worlds.
Oh, I'm sorry. What? What?
A werepire. But then in AdventureQuest Worlds, we took it one step further. We made a Draco werepire. Half vampire, half werewolf, half dragon.
Oh, jeez.
And of course, questing doesn't do that. And we can tell this story again in 3D, and it is a prime candidate for an awesome adventure because we're going to be able to tell stories in a different way. And then, of course, in the feud between the werewolves and the vampires, awesome battleground for PvP. I mean, it was just made for PvP.
Okay, awesome. So about with the combat system, just tell us a little bit about how the combat system works in this game.
Sure. So the combat's real time, and we all, we played all of the MMOs. I started off, I played Meridian, I played Ultima Online, I played EverQuest, I played WoW. And we played a lot of the newer real-time games. And we're like, well, we don't want something dry and static. We want to have, you press the button and you swing your weapon. But we don't want for mobile devices it to be unfair for somebody on a mobile device not to be able to get to and attack an opponent. So we kind of came up with this really neat hybrid system where it is a target-based system. You can tab now in the current version. It has a target button, change targets, do your attacks. Everything's going to be very fast. All the classes have synergy. You can multi-class, and when I say multi, I mean all classes. You can master every class in the game on a single character.
Nice.
And this was a core component of pretty much all of our games. And it's not that the classes are more powerful than each other. They're just different, and they bring different things to the table and different synergies when, you combine a warrior, a mage, and a rogue together. You're going to be able to do really powerful attacks if you time and kind of set up your moves correctly. And of course, Paladin, Necromancer, Doom Knight, Portal Ninja, Pirate, all these things are going to have special things baked into them that'll make the game more interesting.
This totally sounds like a complete blast. Now, so like as you mentioned that you showed me some footage of the games in its current alpha state, like that new UI, which looked really cool. But could you tell us a little bit more about the game in its current alpha state, and can you also tell us a bit more about the feedback that you've been getting from some of the players?
Yeah, the feedback is trade. We want trade. Trade. I've received a lot of love, and the team definitely has gotten a lot of praise for how far they've come already. And I think the unanimous voice is this thing has the potential, but it's not there yet. Originally, we were going to release this game in October, and we could have. We had it working on Android and Apple devices, and currently on Unity on the web. Unity's going away. So we made the big switch up to Unity 5.3 just came out. And with this, we've already started publishing to Windows 10. We'll have it for Mac. And we submitted to Steam for Greenlight. And as I'm talking to you, we're currently number 5
nice. Out
of all of the games on Green Steamlight. That doesn't guarantee we're going to get in, but it looks really good.
Very impressive,
It is really promising. So we did the Kickstarter because we knew we needed more time. The game just wasn't ready in its current state. The potential's there, but it's definitely not ready yet. So what we did is, and what we do in all of our games, we listen very carefully to player feedback. We did a round of changes. This will be our third round of interface changes. Normally 3 is about when we start getting it right. And, we're shaping the size of the rooms to make sure that dungeons and overland have the right amount of players in them. We want to make sure there's lots of overhead, so if you want to bring a friend in, I'd love to talk about that a little bit, because that's what really differentiates this game, because there are 10 million RPGs out there. Mm-hmm. But none of them are really designed to play together, at least not like this.
Moving on, so with the ongoing Kickstarter campaign, I like to ask, if the campaign reaches its base goal, or should I say when it reaches its base goal?
When it reaches its base goal.
Do you guys have any sort of stretch goals planned? And if so, could you give us a little teaser as to what those stretch goals could be?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one of the other things that makes us different is that we see a lot of Kickstarters from companies that haven't made games before. Mm-hmm. So we only promise things that we can over-deliver on so far. Sorry, I'm not trying to be a buzzkill, but like we actually for 13 years have updated our existing games every single week.
Nice.
We know how hard it is to do this. So when we did the Kickstarter, we put in rewards that not only can we give these rewards, but we're going to be sure to over-deliver. People are going to be very happy getting us to that goal. When we get over the goal, and I always feel weird because I look at other Kickstarters, and they promise things they would have made anyways.
Mm-hmm. like multiplayer mode.
Thing, like, and we're going to add trade.
Yep.
So I guess trade. Get us to the goal, and we're going to make trade anyways. But we will promise it at some stretch goal. You also get trade.
Yeah, they also got to stick in some other crappy goal before that goal, just to make them work for it.
Another live stream, so we can watch the dev team run around, trying to find their shoes.
Yep, exactly.
We had a live stream today, the day this was recorded, and players tuned in and were really surprised that we have dogs in the office and we don't wear shoes, and the office maybe looks a little nicer than people expected. I think everyone secretly thought that I was just in my parents' basement. And they saw how hard everyone was working, and they saw the screens, and when they heard one of our artists, Dage, when they heard him talking about there's this monster called the Gog, and it's this giant, hideous, and it was like the 5th monster ever drawn for the original AdventureQuest. They saw the repainted re-envisioning of this for AQ3D, and people's jaws dropped when you heard him talking about it. He wasn't a game developer, he was a player, because he was a player when he first started playing, until basically the 3rd game is when he came on board with us. And there's a lot of love and nostalgia going into this. And someone's like, you just can't make the same game again. It's like, well, we're not. Absolutely. 2D to 3D is chess, checkers to chess. What we're doing is we're going to re-envision it. We're going to retell the stories. I mean, this is kind of like what happened with Doctor Who. Doctor Who, the originals, had all the right pieces. And then in these reboots, they put them together in this new fantastic way, which made it 10 million times better. Well, no offense to any of the classic Whovians out there. I enjoyed them all, but I really, really enjoy Tennant and Matt Smith. So, it's kind of like we already made our versions of the Cybermen and Dalek, right?
Yep.
We have our Doom Knights in the Shadow Site, and we have the Seekers, the Guardian Hunters, and we have Karnak's this giant, unbelievable, city-sized monster with an entire city on its back. And we're going to fight that in 3D, and it's going to be something that, it can only be compared to fighting Sin from Final Fantasy X.
Okay, so that last answer that you gave me leads perfectly into another question that I have. Now, with the development of AdventureQuest 3D, what does that mean for the original games? Are you going to continue developing both games side by side, or what's going on?
Well, the original AdventureQuest, which was made 13 years ago, has been updated every single week without miss since then. That team is intact and continuing to update the game. AdventureQuest Worlds, which I think just had its 7-year anniversary. Oh nice. My God, that's insane.
It is.
It is also, and here's the thing. When we announced that we were building an MMO, the first thing the team came up to me and they said, Ardix, do not update this game weekly. We will kill you. I'm like, I won't announce it. And they're like, what do you mean you won't announce it? I'm like, well, I won't tell anyone we're going to update it weekly. We updated it weekly anyways! And we got so proficient at it. That game has an incredible team, and we didn't touch their team. Well, actually, we did take Dage, but he toggles back and forth between doing the 2 projects, and it's really been working out. So all the teams are intact, and we just got a new lead programmer for Dragon Fable this week. So they're all going to continue, and honestly, we need to get them on mobile yesterday. So the big project for 2016 is for them to do the big port so that they become Omni games like AdventureQuest 3D. And really, AdventureQuest 3D is going to be like our prototype of this is how all games should be. And we're going to make all of our games that way.
Nice. Okay, so I guess to just wrap things up, what are you guys planning for the game's future currently?
Hunt all the server lag gremlins. Sorry, that was our inside joke. Okay. We have so much to work on. Our lead coder is Zoom, and at some point he's just going to like break his stoic face and just cry into a puddle of tears. The to-do list is huge. I mean, we're doing everything that basically World of Warcraft did with a team like 1/100th the size and a shoestring budget.
Nice.
And right now, the goal is to get us. Hopefully, we're going to get greenlit on Steam when they do their next round. We're not cocky, but we are like really hardworking, and we're really pushing.
Yeah, definitely.
The next publish is going to put us truly cross-platform, and we're going to have our guaranteed minimum specs. Then we're going to go and do a huge round of combat polish, and then we're going to go back onto the interface. Then we're going to go on to the questing, and can I just take a second to tell you about the play together features?
Yeah, sure.
Because if there's anything anyone's going to talk about this game, they're going to be like, well, why aren't the graphics like these photorealistic, cutting edge, like PlayStation 4 best of the best? And the answer is we could have done that, right? Like that talent is not that hard to get at this point in life. But we need this thing to play on all devices. So we got an art style that looked really good with models that were simple enough to run at 30 frames a second on your phone. And we could target some lower end phones that I think anybody would ever attempt to do for a game like this. And the game self cleans up on your phone, so the areas are in these kind of bite-sized chunks. And if you don't go to one for a while, it just deletes itself to save up your phone disk space. And let's say you're sitting in a room with your friends. Let's say they're playing on their PC. He can just send you an invite. He'll go to your cell. He'll send you a text message, or he can send a Twitter, like a tweet, or he can send you give you a link. Or my favorite feature, he's just going to be able to tell you like a 4 or 5 digit code, like red 52. You type in red 52, and bam, you pop right next to him wherever he is in game.
Nice.
And maybe you're not high enough level to be there. Well, you're going to get sidekicked up to his level. City of Heroes did an amazing job, and I think we can really learn from that, and maybe even improve it a little bit, including dropping you down to lower levels for specific content that really needs to be played at a lower level without being burst through. That's not that everyone loves killing that evil, slightly level higher monster in the newbie zone that like whooped you, and to go back and like one-shot him is an amazing feeling. I do not want to take that away. I just want to make sure that when we do play together, it's really fun because there's some things that will always be challenges. So, and I like the idea that a guy and a girl might play and meet in the game and be like, hey, this is pretty cool, maybe we should go to a coffee shop. And they say, okay. And they go to a coffee shop, and then the guy and the girl are sitting in the coffee shop and like, well, maybe we should play AdventureQuest 3D. Yeah, and they pull out their phones and they're playing together at the coffee shop.
Nice.
Or maybe, the lunch break at work, or how I play mobile games. I have a 1-year-old, and I put him to sleep. And I go and I kind of collapse on the couch. And we're kind of designing this game so you don't have to move your thumbs too much. Like, you can, if you're doing like epic combat, like you kind of need to really be invested. But if you're doing some, what I call therapeutic farming, that's how I felt when kind of mining for crafting resources. And of course, we're going to have crafting in the game. You can just kind of zone out and hang out on the couch. If somebody's next to you, you can invite them and you guys can just kind of team up and kind of chill. And I think mobile games, sorry, now I'm really rambling on, but yeah, I feel very passionate to play a mobile game while watching TV or Netflix. I think Netflix chill in game needs to be a thing. Netflix chill in game.
That's nice. Well, I just like the idea of just being able to do a raid while I'm on the toilet or something like that.
Toilet raid.
Yep. Well, anyway.
Can you get to boss number 2 before you get to number 2?
Nice. Okay, we gotta finish this interview up.
Sorry.
This is too much fun. Anyway, is there anything else you'd like to add to this interview before we finish up? Like any closing comments that you'd like to give to our fans out there?
Oh, sure. And hey, to all of your amazing fans that have played our games before, I'm so sorry, but we will make it up to you in this one. That was a joke. Okay, 2, I'd like to thank everybody for making it to the end of this. I don't know how anybody listens to me talk, but the games we've made, like, they really showed the love and the passion of our community. And our game team, like, our entire reputation, everything we've done was a result of playing alongside the players and listening to feedback. And sometimes it's surprising to see someone say something, how fast it gets actually implemented into the game. I invite you all to come join us on this process of building this new game. What we do is a little bit different than traditional game development. It's very organic. We build worlds that grow under your feet. We'd love you to come do it with us. Thank you for having me, and hope to see you guys online.
All right. Thank you for your time so much. It was a pleasure, man.
All right. Thank you. Battle on!